tutorial you need 4 yarns. I have used Wool Me Once fibers, Merino single yarn in 3 colors, and then I have Kid Mohair silk yarn, which is lace weight yarn. These are fingering weight yarns, and I am holding together this yarn with these yarns. Then I need 1 stitch marker, a tapestry needle, pair of scissors and a tape measure. For this beanie pattern I am using 2 sets of needles. Smaller needles are US 2.5 or 3 millimeter needles, and then I have larger needles which are US 6 4 millimeter needles. I've decided now to use short circular needles, but you can also use longer circulars and magic knit technique. We are casting on 104 stitches with crochet cast on, so I'm making a slip knot. Putting it on my crochet hook. Now I don't have exactly the same size crochet hook that my needle is, but that's okay since your stitches are cast on to the needle. So I have my loop here on my crochet hook, then I have my needle on my left hand, and I'm starting to crochet over the needle like this, then bringing the yarn again to the back and crochet again. So I have now 2 stitches on my needle. Let's see if I can make a better light here. So once again, and make sure that now that you are crocheting, your yarn is coming from the skein that you have. This yarn tail could be really short. It don't have to be a longer one because it's crochet cast on, and you get the stitches here like this. And I'm aiming to 104 stitches, and after I have done that, I will come back to show you what I'm going to do with that last stitch that is on my crochet hook. Now I have my 103 stitches here, and the 104th is on my crochet hook, so I will just lift that stitch on that needle, and then I have 104 stitches on my needle. Okay, now I'm joining my knitting in the round, and also I am joining the Mohair yarn in my knitting. So I will check that every stitch is in a position that they are not twisted like this, so they are pointing at the same direction. Then I'm taking my Mohair 2 and holding it together with the working yarn that I have. And now I'm starting knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. Now that I have so small needle here, it's a bit uncomfortable at first to knit this, but it will get easier once you have crown your knitting with a few rounds. So knit one, purl one. My purling may seem odd to you because this is the way that I've learned. Some Finns do it like this, that they bring the yarn in front, but I can't keep my finger in front, so this is very awkward to me. I'm purling in my own style, or the style that we are taught in schools. We have been taught in schools in Finland when I learned to knit, and actually my grandmother taught me to purl this way, so probably this is some old-fashioned way, but this is how I purl. Okay, now we do knit one, purl one, ribbing some 3 centimeters, which is a little bit over to 1.5 inches. No, a little bit to over 1 inch. So 3 centimeters, some plus 1 inches. I will come back after I have knit 3 inches. Oh, one more thing I forgot. A marker in the beginning of a round. I will put a marker here just to point that this is my beginning of a round, so it's easier to see. When I have reached the round, I will measure my knitting and we'll see if I have enough brim here. You can also work a longer brim if you want. This is the brim that I want to do in this beanie now. So here I am. I will take my tape measure, and it's a bit over 1 inch, almost 3 centimeters. So I'm going to switch to larger needles now. These are US 6 or 4 millimeter needles. I have my 4 millimeter needles, US 6 needles. So I will now knit 1 stitch with the smaller needle so that my marker will stay here in place and doesn't drop when I'm starting to work with this larger needle. The needle is same length that I have than my smaller needle, but it could be longer too, depending which style you want to knit. If you want to do magic loop, then you need a longer needle. But now, as you can see, I switched to knitting, so I'm only knitting, not purling anymore. So I'm working in stockinette stitch, and I'm working in stockinette stitch approximately at least 3 centimeters more. Or just as long as you want, because this is a color block beanie, so it depends how much you have yarn and how long blocks you want to make. I will come back when I'm done with this yarn and I have to switch my yarn. Now I'm ready to join a new yarn, the second color yarn, so I'm going to cut this yarn that I have. I don't cut the silk mohair yarn, but this, leaving a tail of 15 centimeters, which is 6 inches roughly. And I have used almost all that I had. I've used almost all that I had with this yarn, so I have only these with leftovers. I know that I couldn't knit one more round with that amount. I have knit now approximately a little over 3 inches, which is a little over 8 centimeters. So I'm continuing. I'm in the beginning of my round, and I am joining this yarn and taking it together with the mohair yarn like that. I'm just gonna leave this tail here because this is changes the color, so I will weave them in when I'm done with knitting this beanie. So now I just continue working in stockinette stitch in knitting. So I will continue roughly the same amount that I have now here, so approximately 8 centimeters 3 inches with this yarn. Okay, now I have worked some 11 centimeters actually with the second yarn color and mohair yarn. So my hat is 19 centimeters altogether, which is 7.5 inches. And I'm joining a new third yarn now with the mohair. So I can cut now this second yarn. I have my scissors here. I will cut it from there, leaving a tail that I can weave in. And then I'm joining the third color that I have with the mohair yarn. So I'm just holding them together and continue knitting with the new yarn and mohair yarn. I will just leave this tail here, and then I'm weaving them in at last. But now I have a round in which I'm going to use stitch markers, and I'm doing a setup round for crown shaping decreases. So I have my beginning of a round marker here. It's different color that these markers that indicate the decreases. So I'm going to first knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's check. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. I'm placing a marker here. Then I'm knitting 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have to check this. So counting from this marker: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 32, 34, 36. Yes. Placing a marker here. Then I will knit 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Checking 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yes. Marker here. Then again 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Checking these out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, yes. Placing marker here, then I should have 8 stitches left. 2, 4, 6, 8, yes. And I'm knitting till the end, since I have 104 in the beginning. Okay, and now I'm starting to decrease the crown shaping of this hat. I'm doing it always, I have 4 markers here, so I'm doing the decreases after the first marker, before the second marker, after the third marker, and before the fourth marker. So let's begin. I will knit to the marker, slip the marker, and then I'm doing knit 2 together. So I will knit these 2 stitches together, so 1 stitch is decreased. Then I'm knitting to the next marker, and I'm actually not knitting to the marker, I'm knitting 2 stitches before that marker. So now I have 3 stitches before marker, 1 more. And I'm doing slip, slip, knit, decrease. So I have my marker here, 2 stitches before marker. I will slip 1 as if to knit, second as if to knit. I'm putting them back on my needle, and then I'm knitting them together from the back loop. That's it. So the decrease is the same as knit 2 together, but it's slanting to the left, as the knit 2 together is slanting to the right. So it's the same but opposite direction. Then I'm knitting to the next marker. And then I'm slipping this marker, and I will do knit 2 together. Then I'm knitting again to the next marker. Or I'm knitting 2 stitches before that marker. So I am doing again slip, slip, knit, decrease, slip, slip, knit. That's it. Slip to marker and then knit to the end. Then after first decrease round, I will knit 1 round just plain stockinette stitch. 1 round even in stockinette stitch. And as you come to the marker, you'll just slip them from one needle to another. Okay, and after that 1 stockinette stitch round, we will repeat 1 round the decreases. So as we started, we knit to the first marker, slip marker, knit 2 together. Then I will knit to the next marker, or 2 stitches before the next marker, and we'll do slip, slip, knit there. Okay, 2 stitches before the second marker, and slip, slip, knit. Slip the marker, knit to the next marker, I slip the marker, knit 2 together, and then knit to the next marker, or 2 stitches before the next marker. Almost there. Yes, 2 stitches before the last marker and slip, 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 knit. Then on the next round, which is again plain stockinette stitch with no decreases, I will change my needle because this is very short needle and it's starting to get difficult to knit as the piece gets smaller. So I will change my needle to a longer circular needle. You could also change to double point needles, to 4 double point needles, but I will do magic loop with a long circular needle. Okay, I have the same size needle here that I 4mm needles, but it's much more longer, and I will show you how to do the magic loop. So I will just knit the stitches to this other needle, and this is a row in which I have no decreases since I did the decreases on the previous row. I'm just knitting approximately half of these stitches first to this needle. Now I have almost half of the stitches on this needle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this needle so I can make a loop here. It's forming a loop here, so it's easier for me to continue working with these stitches. So I'm knitting to the end, or to the point where I have my needle, but it's a little bit over the beginning of a round. Okay, I'm here. And now I'm gonna put away this smaller needle. And I have my all my stitches on this long circular needle. The loop isn't that long because this is only 80 centimeters needle. But still, I can make a loop here. I'm sliding the stitches that I have here on this needle in which I'm going to start to knit. Then I'm going to make a loop from this needle. And then I have two loops, this loop and this loop. And it's very convenient to knit this way. Okay, now I have a decrease round again, so I'm decreasing. I'm going to knit to the marker, slip marker, knit two together. Then I'm going to knit to 2 stitches before the marker, next marker, which is the second marker, and doing slip, slip, knit. After that, I'm going to knit to the third marker, slip the marker, doing knit 2 together. And after that, I'm going to knit to 2 stitches before last marker and doing slip, slip, knit. And now these decreases are done on every row until you have only 2 stitches left between these markers. So you have decreased all these stitches, and all these stitches between the third and the fourth marker, you have only 2 stitches left between these markers and these markers. So let's do this round till the end, and then I'm coming back after I have done all those decreases and I have only 2 stitches left between those markers. Between these markers there is 16 stitches here and 16 stitches here in the beginning of a round. Where is the beginning of a round marker? There. They don't decrease at this point, so you will only decrease the stitches between the first and the second marker and the third and the fourth marker. So here knit 2 together, and then I'm knitting the fourth marker, or 2 stitches before the fourth marker, and I am doing the slip, slip, knit, decrease, okay, I had to cut the video, but here we go. I did knit 2 together, and I'm now knitting to the last fourth marker that I have on this round, and I am doing slip slip knit here, and then I'm knitting to the end of the round. And now you will repeat these decreases on every round after this. This round. So we have done now 6 decreases. So the first one, the second one, and the third one, and now we will continue on every round doing the decreases after the first marker, before the second marker, after the third marker, and before the fourth marker. Now I have decreased the stitches so that I have only 2 stitches left between those markers in which I did my decreases on both sides. So my hat looks like this. There are my knit 2 together decreases and slip slip knit decreases. And now the second next round will be only knit 2 together decreases, and at the same time I can remove these markers. I will still have my beginning of a round marker here, and I will just knit 2 together all the way to the end. Like this. Then I can remove this marker. Remove that. Okay, I have completed one round of knit 2 together decreases. After that I'm going to do the same the next round. This time I will remove also my beginning of a round marker. I will slide the first stitch to this needle so I know that when I come to here it's my beginning of a round. I could also put a marker here, but it's not necessary, just to show that it's my beginning of a round. And now one more time, knit 2 together, one round. Now that I have only one stitch here, I will slide it to the next needle. that's it. Now I have completed 2 rounds of to knit 2 together. I can also remove this marker. Then I'm taking scissors and cutting this yarn. I will leave a tail which is at least 20 centimeters or 8 inches long to make it easier to weave in the ends. And the next round will be that again I will do knit 2 together, but I will pull the yarn through these stitches. So I will completely pull the yarn through the stitches, so I will secure the last stitches. That's it, and the last stitch I had odd number of stitches there because they are decreasing to odd number at last. Now just pull that tight and then we will weave the ends. Okay, and now the weave in the ends. I have put my last yarn tail to the tapestry needle, and I will show you what I do with the crown. First I will go on the right side of the work. I will go through the crown at least one time, just to make sure that the crown is closed. Then I will go in to the wrong side. I will put my needle there and turn my hat around so I can weave in the ends here. You could give your hat a little bath, which means that you would soak it in a lukewarm water for 15 minutes and then dry it as a flat, but the hat is okay without blocking too. So as you can see, it's a bit slouchy shaped, so you can fit your hair there pretty easily. And it fits quite nicely. If you want to be tighter, you could do a few stitches smaller, but I don't want it. I want that my hair will fit there easily, so that's why my hat is a bit slouchier. And I will put my hair up so you can see that you can even fit a small bun there. So that's it. You can even put some hair there up and it look like Marge Simpson. That's it. Thank you for watching.